Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers, far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 80, the big 80 of the Talking the Line podcast. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your day to come and kick it with the crew on this beautiful Wednesday of bets. Now, we got a lot to get into today with NBA Finals Game 4 on tap. We also have the British Open right around the corner. Actually, first tee-off is tonight. Actually, tomorrow morning at 12:35 a.m. But before we get into all of that, talk some lines and give you all of the analysis that we found across today's slates, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL Pod on. If you are watching on YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell as well so you never miss the start of a live show. But if you are listening to the audio version on your favorite podcasting directory, make sure you hit that subscribe button there as well, as we always do release the audio after every live show is finished. Second item on the docket, as always, if you guys could be so kind and you do have a couple extra seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating, all that good stuff. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make Talking the Line Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. And last but not least, final item on the docket here before we dive into the show, head on over to this episode's description where you will locate the Talking the Line link tree. Within that link tree, you will find all of the TTL Crew's content so you can consume it however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful gambling people, joining us on today's show, I am your humble host, Colt45 Sroka, and once again, thank you so much for choosing to hang out with the TTL crew and smash in some bets with us here today. Now, I keep referencing this crew. If you're a newcomer to the TTL pod and you might be listening, you might not be seeing the man seated to my left. But if you are viewing him live and in prime time, it's time to bring him in. A young man whose Sox fandom runs thicker than blood, and you better believe his Green Bay Packers fandom, though be it odd, runs just as deep. You don't see too many Chicago fans that are also running in the Wisconsin territory. However, he finds himself among the select few. He is also the man that I have the honor with, locking arm in arm, going to battle with these sports books day in and day out. So it is time to do that here once again. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
I mean, I'm doing just fine. Had a nice little evening myself with the All-Star Game, but I think you're downplaying my crew of Illinois and Chicago Packers fans. We're everywhere, baby. We are everywhere, and yeah, I mean, I typically come November, I usually see more Packers gear around the streets in Illinois than I do Bears stuff. I don't know if that's a certain reason for that or not, but
as that was coming out of my face, I did think about 3 separate people that I know firsthand that are Packers fans and Sox fans outside of you. Though maybe that majority is growing a little bit more than it has been over the last few years, and it's just continuing as more and more.
I think your eyes are just opening.
Yeah, maybe so. Who
We've
knows?
been here,
maybe I am just so delved deep into the game now. I'm finding more and more people who are Sox and Packers fans. Hey, there's a rabbit hole for you to start off this show. You never know where the TTL podcast is going to go, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, hey, thanks for joining me and Mags on today's show. We got a loaded episode coming to you. And as always, brief disclaimer, might have a little special guest pop in from time to time. The TTL crew mascot, if you will, in the production studios, Miss Matilda, might pop in from time to time. She's on the free roam in the studio here today, we'll see if she comes through. But as for today's show, got a lot to talk about there, but quickly popped into my head. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday, my friend.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
It bears mentioning because we had one hell of a day, sir.
Yes, we did.
And I hope you guys decided to ride with us. I hope when it comes to the TTL Showdown, once again, I bow down to you, sir. You absolutely destroy me when it comes to TTL Showdowns. Hope you backed Mags. He hit the American League money line, the American League first 5 run line plus a half, and the American League to win by 1 to 3 runs. So hell of an evening there. We were also both on the Nerfy, so hope you rolled that with us. We
plus
both
money
hit
Nerfy.
That, and then we were both on the under 11.
Yes, sir.
So he went 5-0 yesterday on his picks. Now, I did have some additional picks. Obviously, lost the National League first 5, and then them to win by 1 to 3. Also lost them to not bat in the bottom of the 9th. Had a little bit of a rough outing when it came to the National League. However, game finished 7 to 8 runs. We got the Nerfy.
Yeah.
We got the under 11. We got the first inning of a score to be the second inning.
Yes, sir.
mean, we cashed all types of plus money Pauly action yesterday. Ended up going 10-5-1 overall. Cashed also the National League under 5.5 for the team total, and then under 5 for the American League. Obviously, straight up push.
Yeah, I think it was 10-4-1. Could be wrong.
Okay.
I think you might have was a little off there.
I might be giving myself an extra loss.
That's what I'm thinking. I think so.
Well, hey, if I'm giving myself an extra loss, wipe it off. We're 10-4-1, 10-5-1. Either way, we had one hell of a day.
Yes, we did.
If you rode with Mr. Magnuson, you had one hell of a day in addition to the TTL Showdown. But even if you rode with me, we were up
some nice wins.
6.5 units with all the plus money that I was able to rake on in yesterday. So we talked about it, excuse me, and we love these little side matchups here. The big events that really aren't like the main event.
Right.
You know, the Super Bowl, the last game of the finals, the All-Star Game, a game that sits out from itself. We have a lot more time to delve into a lot more of the numbers, and there's a lot of key trends that stick out.
Obviously. For the All-Star Game, for the MLB All-Star Game, hell yeah. I mean, if you're talking the NBA All-Star Game or the Pro Bowl, I would say probably stay away from it because you never know who's going to give 50%, who's giving 10%.
Right.
But that AL All-Star Game or MLB All-Star Game, man, it's capable.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you bet any of it last night, I mean, it was a great game to watch. It was a fun game to sweat out. So
the only one we didn't see, and it wasn't that we just didn't like it, we just didn't see it, or at least I didn't see it, was at least 3 home runs. I believe was at plus 100.
Oh, I didn't see
and
that.
I wish I would. And then a handful of people were on and had the win there because I think it was 3 on the dot home runs, and I wish we would have been on that one because that would have been a nice one.
Yeah, it almost seemed too. We talked about it that Vladdy was almost too easy to hit a home run.
Yep.
And sure enough, he sent one yabo into left center. It was absolutely electric. Had El Nino on the screen side by side as that was happening. So pretty electric moment overall, if I do say so myself. But hey, overall, big fan of what we saw yesterday in the MLB All-Star Game. No complaints coming out of this department, partner. Any complaints? Anything you got to write home about?
Hell no complaints.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people were not big fans about the doggone jerseys. It seemed like more people were ranting and raving about that thing than anything.
These ones in particular, I had no strong opinions either way. It wasn't like I didn't like them. I wasn't in love with them. But there's a lot of people that had some hate on it. And you've been the guy all season long. When people are hating on jerseys, you say, hang on a minute. Why are we I feel like people are just dissecting this shit with a knife so damn close surgically, and it's like, all right, I mean, maybe just appreciate him. Like I said, I didn't like those as much as some All-Star Game jerseys in the past. I think it might be that people are just used to seeing guys in their normal jersey come the All-Star Game, which I do like.
Sure.
Whether the jerseys are cool or not, I do like them to have their actual jerseys on, because that's what they did in the Home Run Derby, and they just flipped it this year. But yeah, you know, I didn't hate them, and yeah, like I said, you've been the guy that's like, hey,
banging
now,
the drum, man.
Let's keep these jerseys around. Let's take another look at them.
I know, and I'm appreciative that you said something about that, because I have been that guy. I've been banging the drum. Like, these City Connects are not as bad as every other team is freaking out and talking about.
Yep.
You know, I don't think that the All-Star Game jerseys were warranted of any of the hate that they got yesterday.
I liked the White Sox ones that I saw. I mean, there are certain teams that I like more.
I like the city abbreviation. I like the logo on top. It was nice, crisp, clean colors, the red, white, and blue. I mean, how can you not love those jerseys? I don't understand where there was anywhere to hate on them.
Yeah. So I do have half complaint, half not complaint, because it is, you know, there's a positive side to it. But Carlos Rodon didn't see the game, and Tim Anderson didn't get in at bat in the game. Yeah, obviously love to see your favorite players up there, but at the same time, I say half a complaint, half not a complaint, because it is nice, especially for Rodon, to get some rest. So not so much a complaint, but I mean, you do always like to see your favorite players in there. But my guy Liam Hendriks with the save, got the mic'd up action, was not the right choice.
No, Liam Hendriks was not the correct gentleman for the MLB.
At least not for the PG rated version of the All-Star Game. Maybe the PG-13 version. Yeah,
not in the closing minutes of an All-Star Game. Not the guy that you want to have mic'd up there by any means. But with all that being said, producer Colts had to do a little bit of side additional action here today. But that all being said, it seems that we are in action. We are ready to rock and roll. Everything is in prime time. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I've talked about it about 10 times already now. But what's coming up on today's show? Well, let me tell you about it. We got NBA Finals Game 4 to dive into.
Deep dive.
Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks. Going to be a
cannonball
special edition, if you will. I don't know where the cannonball came from, but yeah, we're gonna dive deep in cannonball. Okay, now I get it. We're gonna cannonball into the game. So there you go. We're going to cannonball. We got 11 picks in total coming at you. I got 5 personal ones. RMags has 5 personal ones, and then we have a TTL crew best bet that if you don't hammer anything else in, you need to hammer that one in, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll dive through all of those. We'll break down each one of our picks, and then we'll tell you about what we got coming up for the rest of the betting week. There's only one MLB game on the slate tomorrow, and then there are 16 MLB games as the second half of the slate or season resumes on Friday. So we'll talk a little bit about what to expect for the rest of the week coming from the TTL Pod. And then second half of the show, my friends, you know the drill. We are getting into rants and reactions. We are actually saving the British Open for that portion so we can talk a little bit more in depth about it. We'll be bringing you our favorite picks, finishing position, outright winners, and a few props and other things in between. So make sure you stay tuned for the second half of the show if you want some British Open PGA Major Championship picks. We'll also get into a little bit of Olympic news. USA Team Basketball, Team USA Basketball, back in action. They might not be dead after all, but we're going to have to talk about that a little bit more in depth. And then we got plenty of other stuff to cover from the world of sports and sports gambling in today's Rants and Reactions. So stick around for the second half of the show. And then, as always, because you guys give us your time, your following, your support, I want to repay that to you on every single episode. So, as always, the end of the show is going to be my motivation minutes. And I have something very, very special to bring you guys today. I have a message on fear, but not like you're probably thinking. And this is actually something, a speech of sorts, rather, that I hope to bring to masses of people one day. And if you're part of the loyal TTL following and enjoy Colts Motivation Minutes, you are one of these select few people that are getting the first access to this speech to the public that I've had in the back pocket since 2016. So I'm very excited to bring this to you guys today. 5 years in the making. So stick around for the very end of today's show. It's going to be a heavy hitter and a little bit more of a long one. Today's motivation minutes from me at the very end of episode number 80. But it is time to get into the big 8-0 and stop all the banter, cut all the drama, hush with all the nonsense that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get. You come to the TTL podcast for the stone cold locks and running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So without further ado, going to look a little bit more similar to our day-to-day show, even though it's not a similar slate or anything we see. As always, we're going to kick things off with segment number 1, the TTL Crew's best bets of the day, RMags best bets, and then my best bets. Then we'll let you guys know what the TTL Crew's best bet of the day, the lock of the century, is here on this beautiful July 14th, 2021 for Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Then we'll toss them all up on the screen for you and give you every single best bet of the day and the opportunity to hammer them in on your favorite sports book. So without further ado, let's get into the first half of today's show. In the first segment, within that first half, ladies and gentlemen, it is about time to get some stone cold hammering picks. It's time for RMags best bets of the day. He is going all over the place. We had a little bit of a discrepancy before the show with what one of his bets were going to be. So we have an additional bet as well that I'll tell you about that we both like, that we'll go ahead and take either way. Wasn't going to be one of the plays, but it sure is now. However, ladies and gentlemen, I still love all 5 of his plays. I know he's got some solid analysis to drop down because, as you know, as well as I know, he's the NBA guy here at the TTL Pod. So without further ado, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks coming right up. Get out those sports books. Get ready to smash them in. And without further ado, as always, partner, you have the floor.
Alrighty, I appreciate it. So 5 plays coming out of me today. Got a couple of quarter props and 3 NBA player props. Obviously, it's NBA. I have 3 player props is what I'm trying to say here. First play is going to come out of the second quarter of this game, and I am going to the Milwaukee Bucks second quarter money line. At home in the playoffs this year, they are 7-2 in the second quarter with a couple of blowouts there mixed in. So they have really come out strong in this one and hold the lead throughout the entire quarter. It's been one of their better defensive quarters of the for them in the postseason, and especially obviously here in these finals. Even in the 2 losses, they still handled business pretty well in the second quarter. So I really like them to. It's not been a high scoring offensive quarter for them. They have taken care of business, but it's the defense that turns up there in the second quarter. A lot of time you get that, Devin Booker, Chris Paul sitting on the bench for the first handful of minutes, and then the Bucks kind of inch away by a handful of points, and then, like I said, they just hold down to that lead. So I'm going to keep it short on that one, but my first play is going to be Bucks second quarter money line.
Absolutely. I think this game plays out very similar to what we saw in Game 3. Tight first quarter, and then the Bucks take much needed control in the second quarter. That's actually a little bit of analysis into one of my best bets of the day. But you hear his first. You got it. Bucks second quarter money line. Sir, second best bet of the day, if you could be so kind.
All right, this one might be my favorite of the day. So this is going to be the third quarter, and as much as I said the Bucks come out on defense in the third quarter, their offense comes out scorching in the third quarter. I am taking the over 56 in this one, and I like both teams to come out hot on offense, actually. The third quarter in this series, doesn't matter if it's in Phoenix or Milwaukee, this third quarter over has been the play. 69, 65, and 62 have been the total in all 3, and obviously you can say that that's gone down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to go down far enough under 56 that this won't be a nice play. The Bucks won quarter 3 in both road games, actually, so even in the 2 games that they lost, this was a very key quarter for them to get back into the game, and even in Game 3 in Milwaukee, they actually lost that quarter 27-35, so it's been a really nice quarter for the Suns. This last one, still not a bad quarter by any means offensively for the Bucks, but I think they come out even stronger. I think they win this quarter, but I really like that over because both teams have come out very nicely out of that halftime break. So I really like this one to once again go over 60 on my side. If I can get a nice little alternate line, I would even take that action at some plus money, but I think the safe play here is the over in this one, partner.
Yes, sir. I am writing it with you. This is where the discrepancy would have been found. Now, when I hear your analysis, I'm even more wondering how it happened because majority of it was the Bucks coming out scorching hot in the second quarter and absolutely destroying the Suns here recently in the second quarter. So what I had thought Mr. Magnuson was going to be hammering in was the Bucks third quarter money line. Sounds pretty apparent there. However, he is going with the third quarter over 55.5 or 56, which is ever on your favorite sports book. So either way, discrepancy handled. No problems here at the TTL Pod. We are set and ready to rock and roll. You got 2 bets coming now for the price of 1. So RMags second best bet of the day one more time. Third quarter total points over 55.5 or 56, whatever it's at on your sports book right now. Partner, keep this show moving along with your third best bet of the day, sir.
All right, final 3 here. I mentioned I've got 3 player props. First one, I've got a couple lower scoring guys here. First one is going to be Pat Connaughton, over 7.5 points. He has gone over that number in 5 straight games going back to the conference finals, and his minutes have actually increased each series in the playoffs. He is up to 30.7 minutes per game here in the finals, and I think that continues tonight. I don't see why it wouldn't, because another guy, Bryn Forbes, who was getting a good chunk of those minutes earlier on against Miami and the Nets, he's obviously faded into the black on the opposite way. He's shooting 48% from 3 in the finals. I think he gets at least 10 again, at least to 10 tonight. I think he pours in at least a couple of threes, and then if he doesn't hit 3 threes, I like him to hit at least 2 threes, and then a nice, nice layup or 2, or a couple of free throws. I really like, we've kind of criticized him a little bit because he's not quite the guy that they need for this finals. But given the minutes that he is getting, and he's not shooting 10 threes a game, but he's doing enough, and he's hitting it at a nice enough clip that I really like this over 7.5. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes way over it. He could be in for a big game because he's kind of been, just going over this total here. So wouldn't surprise me if he has a nice 4 3-pointer game in this one, partner. But I do like the 7.5, no problem.
I agree with you. I think this point total is way too low for how many minutes Connaughton has been getting. I think that you're spot on with all of your analysis, and I actually have also another guy who I think is an X factor, much like Mr. Patrick. I think these guys are going to be X factors here today, and I actually have a prop on a similar guy here today within the Milwaukee Bucks lineup who has a very, very small point total. I think those 2 guys are going to be key. Definitely Connaughton being number 1, and you'll just have to wait to my picks to find out who number 2 is going to be. But there you go. Best bet number 3 coming from RMags. You got Pat Connaughton over 7.5 points. Moving right along into number 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you got today, sir?
All right, so briefly going over to a Suns player before we head back to the Milwaukee Bucks. I like Jay Crowder to stay over 10.5 points in this game. And another guy who has not quite exponentially like Pat Connaughton, but his minutes have increased here in the finals. He's up to 34.3 minutes per game here in the finals. And again, I don't see any reason why that would stop because he has been heating up from 3 in this series. He is 9 for 12 over his last 2 games. He was 6 for 7 at game 3. Now, I don't see him, having that high of a performance again in this one, but I really love him to go over 10.5 and pour in another few threes here. Another big reason that I like this is because the Bucks they seem to be fine with him being the one that takes care of them and beats them on the offensive end. They have other guys that they're focused on that they want to beat. That was evident in Game 3. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and so I really like Jay Crowder to have another game where he's getting a lot of open looks. And like I said, is he going to go 6 for 7 from 3 again? I don't think so, but I think he's going to have plenty enough open looks, and he's shooting it well enough to where, I think he puts in at least 3 threes. And if it's only 3 threes, I think it's got more than enough time to handle another layup or a free throw, much like Pat Connaughton. But again, wouldn't surprise me if he has another 4+3 game and takes care of this one easy. So over 10.5 doesn't seem like a sweat to me, partner.
No, I don't think so either. This was actually a bet that I took out of Game 3 that I think has just the exact same value, if not more value, in this matchup here today. So once again, RMag's 4th best bet of the day that I am also on, have already hammered in his first 3, now his 4th. You got James Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. I don't know why I said James. Jay Crowder over 10.5 points. Now you got 1, 2, 3, and 4, sir. Please be so kind. Drop it on down. Wrap up your half of the first segment. The fifth best bet coming from RMags today is now live.
Alrighty, so I said I'm going back to the Bucks, and this is one that my partner is also with me on as well. Going to the man Chris Middleton to finally show up and go over 24.5. This man, not only is he due, and obviously that's not my only analysis for that, him being due. The reason he's due is that he's done this all playoffs long and seemingly all season long, where you have 2 lower scoring games for him. He typically goes off in that next game, especially in his home building. And I think a lot more of the focus for the Suns, I mean, it has to be, is going to be on Giannis. Whether or not that's going to be viable for them, whether or not they're going to be able to slow him down, I don't know. Regardless, Chris Middleton should have more looks in this game, and I think he is going to be ready to show up. And remember that he is actually pretty damn good at basketball, because it seems to be that he might have forgotten. But he did have, he was a little bit better in Game 3, somewhere around 18 points in Game 3. But I really just think he's going to have a lot more looks, a lot less looks where he's getting, switches, double teams, that type of stuff. So I think he handles this 24.5, and he is going to be the X factor, in my opinion, for this Bucks win, partner. I know you're with me, but anything else to add there?
No, I am all over that with you. Yeah. There's a lot of analysis you're going to hear from me that I do believe this is going to be one of those standout games for Chris Middleton here today. We talked about it on Monday's show, I do believe. Kind of a cycle here for Middleton, and I think he's about to hit the peak of that cycle. Yep. So, yes, I 150% am also on the Chris Middleton over 24.5 points with you here today, my friend.
Alrighty.
So there you go. RMags. 5 best bets of the day. The first half of the first segment of today's show, episode number 80. Beautiful Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. Partner, anything else you need to drop down, lay down before I keep this show steaming on down the tracks?
No, go ahead, but a little teaser into the Rants Reaction. We got some interesting NFL news. I don't want to say it right now, but
oh boy, 57 days until the best time of the year returns, ladies and gentlemen. I got some stuff to talk about as well. We're going to have one hell of an NFL season. Let me tell you that. I got access to some solid stuff. 436 pages of analysis, trends, breakdowns, and everything in between. Save that for the Rants Reactions. Want to talk a lot about that, but we got to keep it moving.
We got to keep it going.
We'll talk about it here in a minute. Don't get us stuck on the NFL. We'll be there soon. Moving right along. For the first half of today's show, the second half of the first segment. Hope you're able to follow along all in that pattern. Hope you're understanding where we're at within the show now. If you don't, either way, we're still moving along into my best bets of the day. Now, told you, I also have 5 best bets coming at you. I am not going to waste any time. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm not going to delay. Look here, you guys need more winners. You already got 5 locked in and hopefully hammered home in your favorite sportsbook. Now it's time to get those sportsbooks back out. I hope you didn't close them, because you got 5 more to hammer in now. So as you hammer them in, as I lay them down, get ready to lock them home, because here we go. We ain't stopping. First best bet of the day coming from me. I am going to the first half spread, and I am taking the Milwaukee Bucks minus 2.5 on the first half spread. A couple of very few key, concise reasons as to why I love this. Number one, they covered this number by more than enough points, by double digits on Sunday's game in Game 3. Mike Budenholzer is 67, 49, and 4 ATS in the first half as a home favorite in his career for Milwaukee. And this year, he is 28, 12, and 2 ATS in the first half at home as a favorite so far. This has been a very key trend for him. I love him to stick to it. I love the Bucks to come out hot early. I said a little bit ago, I think this first quarter is going to be real tight, and then that second quarter, the Bucks are going to blow it wide open once again and go into halftime with a double-digit lead. Maybe a single-digit lead, but definitely in the high single digits, if nonetheless. Not a whole lot else into this. I absolutely love this play. Backing it here again, kind of curtailing off of some of my partner's analysis with his first few plays there in the second quarter money line. Absolutely love it here. So my first best bet of the day
Mm-hmm.
Taking the Milwaukee Bucks first half spread -2.5.
I love it, man. Can't add too much more, obviously. As we mentioned, we expect it to be a close game in the first quarter. And, I don't know how big of a lead the Bucks will jump out to in the second quarter, but I think it'll be at least a 5-point second quarter win, which should be plenty enough for, both mine and your plays.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think they cover that number no problem. So there you go. My first best bet of the day. Moving in to my second best bet of the day, I am going to the full game total, ladies and gentlemen. I am seeing the total currently at 220.5, whatever it is on your current book. I don't know. Either way, we are taking under 220.5 for the full game total here today between the Suns and Bucks. Another one here that is just clear, concise, and simple. The books do not do this, ladies and gentlemen. The total was set at 220 for Sunday's game, Game 3, and it pushed at 220. They have now gave you an additional hook, 220.5. They are begging you to take the over. You can look through trend after trend as to why you should take this over here today, and there are a lot of 6-0, 7-0s, 8-0s, 7-0s that you will find out there. I have found within my handicapping career that those key numbers are typically when trends tend to end. I believe that's going to be one of those here today, but I do have some key trends that I think you guys should take note of, and as to why I'm taking the under 220.5 here today. The total has gone over twice and pushed once in the 3 games, so naturally, the logically next place that I feel this game going is a tightly contested affair, under, with the Bucks getting the victory here today. Some key trends as to why I also believe that. The under is 5-2-1 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams in Milwaukee. Phoenix is 8-5-1 to the under as an away dog on the season. Phoenix is 9-8-2 to the under in the playoffs. Milwaukee is 10-8-2 to the under in the playoffs. Milwaukee is 5-3-1 to the under at home in the playoffs. And Phoenix is 5-3-1 to the under on the road in the playoffs so far. I love this total to stay way under. Maybe not way under. We might only get it by 2 or 3 points. That's fine by me. My partner gets a little sweaty around those hours of the night in the basketball game in the late minutes of the fourth quarter, but I stand firm and stand pat. I believe this one's going to go under plenty. So my second best bet of the day, under 220.5 for the game total, Suns versus Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I will be riding this one with you, no problem. But these totals in the finals have been very close, but you're not wrong. These, as far as a handicapping perspective, it is the correct play.
And with me not being the biggest fan of the NBA and more of a handicapper, that's why I don't sweat these bad boys out too much. Because sometimes you get the fan side of you and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely electric. So I totally understand. They can get a little sweaty, but we'll be all right, I promise.
Yeah, but the one thing that I will add is that we haven't really mentioned it too much. I think aside from maybe the second quarter, but I think the Bucks defense is going to be the biggest factor as far as that play is concerned. And I think it's going to be even better, maybe not even better than it was, in Game 3. Maybe more of a spread out performance from them as opposed to the second half defense. But I think they'll take care of it.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got both of our analysis on the total there today. My third best bet of the day, it's time to get into a couple of player props and then also a player performance double. So my first best bet for the prop side, my third best bet of the day, I am taking Giannis Antetokounmpo under 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Another real clear and concise one that I am seeing a lot of value on here today. He's had 2 big back-to-back games, so the natural thought that you're going to have is that he is going to come right back out and do the exact same thing. Me and my partner have been talking about it a lot, and I think today is going to be the Chris Middleton show. I don't think this is going to be the Giannis show. I don't want to say that Giannis is going to take a back seat, but he's going to have a lot of much-needed quote-unquote rest when he's on the court and be able to really move around on the floor and allow Chris to really sink home some buckets tonight. I think, honestly, Chris Middleton is going to be the X factor, and I think you're going to see a huge game from him today. Now, as for this point total in the playoffs at the 53.5, Giannis has gone 4-2 to the under with this specific total, and he has gone 4-3 to the under in 7 playoff home games with this specific total. So, once again, I don't think he's going to take a complete backseat in this game, but I don't think we're going to see. We might see right around high 20s, low 30s in points, low total in rebounds, and then a low total in assists. Once again, might get a little sweaty. You might get around 47, 48. 49, but still, that looks like it's under to me.
Yeah, I mean, he can still have a hell of a game and stay under
and
this.
Stay way under
yeah,
53.5. I know it seems like it's easy to hit that, but it's really not. He can have a hell of a game and still
he's going to have to go. It's going to have to be a similar performance that we saw.
He would have to drop north of 40,
right?
Either high 30s or north of 40s,
or have a ridiculous rebound game.
Yeah, and I just don't see that happening today. And you can hear he don't see it happening today either. So there you go, my third best bet of the day: Giannis under 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Moving right along, fourth best bet of the day. My second player prop on today's board. Told you just briefly that I'd be taking somebody like this. This man that I'm about to tell you about, I believe, is the other X factor for this Milwaukee Bucks offense.
Trying to throw out my crazy.
not even. I believe that he's just going to be real big here today. So let me continue and tell you.
Sorry,
you threw me all the way the fuck off guard there.
Throw out the crazy eyes.
Either way, I am taking Bobby Portis point total over 6.5. Yeah, that's right. Bobby Portis is only projected at damn near every book for 6.5 points right now, and I think that is way too low. He has stepped up in the playoffs. They are giving him more time. He knows his role in the NBA now, and he knows when he's on the court, he has to make the most of his minutes. However, I just don't always go in blind. Got to have some key trends here that I'm looking at, and there are some really key ones that are in our favor. Bobby Portis on this specific number is 3-2 to the over in his last 5 playoff games overall, but he's 4-0 to the over on this number in his last 4 home playoff games, and he's scored at least 8 points in all of those home playoff games. I believe that he is going to be one of the supporting cast members that really needs to step up here today. I think that 6.5 is way too low. I think at a bare minimum, he drops 10 here tonight. I think he comes out and continues on. It seems that Bucks fan base just really gets him fired up. He plays at such a different level when he is at home. Not to mention the Bucks play at a different level when he's on the court and Giannis is on the court. They have a 121.3 offensive efficiency rating, an 85.4 defensive efficiency rating, and a plus 35.9 net rating with Bobby Portis and Giannis on the court. So I like them to just continue to roll here. I think that he actually gets back to a little bit of sinking the 3 ball too. He hasn't been taking so many shots from behind the arc, and Bobby Portis is 47.1% from behind the arc in the NBA season so far. So I like him to tick up those numbers, take a few extra 3-ball shots, maybe send 2 home, and then we only need 1 free throw, and we hit the doggone over. So seems very, very easy for me to cover. You typically don't like to see that or think that with a particular bet, but he's covered this number no problem at home, and I think he does once again here today as one of the X factors in the game tonight.
Yeah, I love this one with you, my man. The only thing I would add to that is that the Suns are losing some depth in the paint as far as defensively. They've lost Dario Saric. And the big thing, not so much losing Sarge, but you saw it in Game 3, and maybe they don't throw something else out there, but Frank Kaminsky was a revolving door in Game 3, so I'm not sure if maybe they're forced to throw him in there again in Game 4. Maybe they'll try somebody else. I don't know, but I love Bobby Portis to have, like you said, I think he goes double digits in this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of the Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis show, if I do say so myself. I think the energy of this game is going to flow through both of those guys here today, so hey, man, I am all over Bobby Portis, so let's rock and roll there, and let's wrap up my best bets of the day. Now, this one is more a sprinkle, but I think it is worth a look, and it was worth 1 unit play to me. My 5th and final best bet, I am taking a player performance double. I am taking Chris Middleton, 3+ threes, and Milwaukee Bucks to win. Now, Middleton has made 3+ in 3 out of his last 5 overall. And on the season, he's actually shooting 41.4% from behind the arc. However, you look in these playoffs, and he's only shooting 34.2% from three-point range. So the only logical conclusion, and I love it today, is he is going to progress or positively regress to the mean. I absolutely love him to sink home 3 with no problem here today. We keep telling you this is going to be the Chris Middleton show here tonight. I think at least he gets 12, 15 points from behind the arc. He drops in 4 or 5. I think it's going to be one of those games for him, and it's an opportunity for him to really show out in front of the home fans, in front of a lot of people throwing some mess on his name over the last few games. I think we see him hit this no problem. The Bucks get the win no problem, and we see Chris Middleton in the post-game interview talking about how he did this no problem. So there you go, my 5th and final best bet. If you got anything to add, partner, Chris Middleton, 3+ threes in a Milwaukee Bucks win, player performance double.
Yeah, I love this one as well. Not to mention, man, if he has a poor performance and they lose this game and go down 3-1, his future in Milwaukee is in fucking jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the fans love him, Giannis loves him, but if, like I said, if they lose this game, and it looks like it might be because of him, they're gonna have to reconsider the construction of this lineup around Giannis. So
big time.
I don't think he has any choice.
I don't think he does either. So all signs leading to KM taking off tonight. Air KM about to take flight, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. There you have it. My 5 best bets of the day, and now all of the TTL crew's best bets of the day. Our personal plays we are taking, whichever ones out of those 10 that you feel so inclined to ride with. Hopefully all 10, because we are riding all 10. We'll see you at the pay window once those bad boys start cashing here this evening. However, wrapping up the first segment of today's episode number 80 on this beautiful July 14th, 2021, in case you had forgotten, we told you at the top of the show, we had a bet we're so confident in that we had to make it the TTL crew's best bet of the day today. So without further ado, I'm going to let you know what the play is. I'm going to let my partner start delving out some straight up facts about why we're taking this play. And then I might piggyback behind him just a little bit with some more analysis and trends that I think are key and worth mentioning. And then, once we complete all that jazz, we'll flash all of the best bets of the day up on the screen. So, get out those sports books, get ready to hammer them in, but before you do all of that nonsense, listen up for the TTL crew's best bet of the day coming out of the NBA Finals Game 4 tonight. Milwaukee Bucks, Phoenix Suns. We are taking the Milwaukee Bucks -4.5. This is all but the Bucks game to lose. I believe they come out extremely hot, stay rolling through the third, rolling through the fourth. But partner, I know you got plenty to lay down about why we're taking the spread at -4.5 here today. So without further ado, why don't you go on and get on after it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like, what did I say yesterday? I already forgot the repeating jukebox.
Repeating jukebox.
But, I mean, all of the plays that we already mentioned, broken record. Yeah. Missed yesterday's show.
If you missed yesterday's show, go give it a listen. We are now utilizing repeating jukebox at the TTL Pod. No broken records here.
Anyways, I don't know how much I can lay down beyond what we have already said, because all of our plays encompass into this play kind of as far as the analysis goes. Like we said, first quarter, I think it comes out nice and tight here. If not, the Bucks coming out storming hot, who knows? But we think it's going to be tight there. And then the Bucks defense tightens up in the second quarter, and their offense kind of cruises right along into a nice second quarter, first half win. And then the offense in the third quarter just comes out scorching hot. And I know you have some more of a handicapping perspective on this that you'll lay down, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like we saw in the second half necessarily at Game 3, but I honestly see, close to a 10-point win here for the Bucks. Chris Middleton have himself a game. I think we see a little bit more, kind of what we mentioned. Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, role player type, pouring it in here. Drew Holiday, I think he will have a nice game. He should be very good on the defensive end. We haven't mentioned him at all. A lot of his props, in my opinion, were kind of spot on, kind of toss ups, honestly. Yeah, so we stay away from that. But I think he's going to be huge on the defensive end. Give Devin Booker, Chris Paul some more problems. Devin Booker was bad in Game 3. I don't don't know that it'll be bad like that in Game 4. Not saying he's going to be, but I don't think he's going to put in a performance, him or Chris Paul, like we saw in Game 1 or 2 in Phoenix. So all in all, we like these Bucks to storm these books and cover that -4.5 with little to no ease.
Yeah,
or
little to no sweat.
Yeah, little to no sweat.
A lot of ease involved in this here today. There's going to be no sweat on our behalf. Partner said got a little bit of handicapping side to this. I do have something that I was able to find that I was actually really surprised about when I did. This number has been really, really key for this Milwaukee Bucks team in the playoffs so far. Not only the -4.5, that has been key in and of itself, but you can even go into -4 all the way to -5.5. And if you look at those numbers, when it is at that number, the spread is set at that number so far this year, or in the playoffs rather, and the Bucks are the favorite. The Bucks are 6-1 ATS to that number so far in the playoffs. It has been incredibly key. They are nowhere near that ATS in the playoffs so far this season. They have struggled a little bit ATS-wise, but here today, this is just too good of a number to pass up. Once again, I think they kept it at 4.5, just to have everybody run to Phoenix once again to keep this tight. I think you're going to see a very, very similar script just because we saw a similar script in Game 1 and 2 in Phoenix. I think it just plays out the same. It's going to be a tight opening first quarter. Bucks are going to lay down the hammer in the second. We're going to have a huge scoring third quarter, and it's going to be a little bit back and forth once again. And then Giannis will come back at the end of the third and into the fourth, and then they will really lay the hammer down and cover this number without any problem. I see at least a 5-6 point cover here over the 4.5, no problem, if we don't reach a double-digit cover again.
Yeah, I can't add more.
Can't anything than that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Wasn't ready for you to throw it back
So I know I threw it right at you out of nowhere. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The TTL Crew's best bet of the day. All right, no more delaying, no more hesitation, no more stopping. You guys have been dying for it, so it's time to bring them to you. Without further ado, for the first time, live on your screen on this beautiful Wednesday of bets. Adjust my microphone. And get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Sportsbooks out. Eyes wide open.
Bobby Portis style.
Ready to ingest these plays. The TTL Crew's best bets of the day for Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. Episode number 80. Are live on your screen. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. I crack myself up sometimes. On top here, left portion of your screen, as always, you have our Mags picks today. He's got 5 coming at you. He's got the third quarter total over 56 or 55.5, whatever you're finding it at on your current book. And in addition that we both like, we are taking the Bucks money line in the third quarter. He also has the Bucks second quarter money line. For his player prop favorite best bets of the day, he is taking Pat Connaughton over 7.5 points, Jay Crowder over 10.5 points, and Chris Middleton over 24.5 points. As for me, on the right side of your screen, I got 5 more coming at you. We're taking the Bucks first half -2.5. The under game total of 220.5. And for the player props, we're taking Giannis under 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Bobby Portis over 6.5 points. And Chris Middleton 3+ threes and a Milwaukee victory. There you go, the TTL Crew's 10 best bets of the day for our personal side of things. And then all below that, right down there in the corner, coming to you live from the beautiful Fiserv Forum, where we will be live in a few short weeks as the TTL Crew. We'll let you know what we're going to be doing there in some coming weeks, but not for now. The TTL Crew's best bet of the day, Milwaukee Bucks -4.5. Hammer 'em in, lock 'em home, sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese down, whatever you need to say. Hey, just make sure you get the TTL Crew's best bets of the day in at whatever the current line is on your favorite sports book. Woke Matilda up with that yours. She might be coming live and in prime time, or might be going right back to sleep. Who knows? It's kitty nap time. However, there you go. There you have it. Today's best bets of the day, ladies and gentlemen. So that does it.
That really does it.
For the first half of the show, for the most part. If you're about to skate on out of here because you're one of the kind degenerates that just stops by for the best bets, analysis, trends, everything in between of all that jazz. Before you go, a couple of quick updates. We have one MLB game tomorrow. We have the Yankees versus the Red Sox. It is played in the Bronx. Bronx Bombers are playing in Yankee Stadium. Haven't really looked too deep into it. I'm still not.
We're going to have 20 bets on it every single inning.
Yeah, I'm not certain if the pitcher matchups have been announced. Those two teams have been very, very tricky. The Red Sox caught fire here at the end of the first half of the MLB season, and the Yankees were starting to trend down. So do we see the same? Do we see a little bit of difference? So we'll see what all we'll got coming out for tomorrow's show. We'll let you guys know. We'll have it obviously live in prime time. We'll let you guys know what's happening. Read the description. Check the title. Make sure you stay tuned to our social media. We'll let you know everything happening there. And then we might have a little live watch along. Obviously, the British Open happening tomorrow during the show, with it being in England. It is going to be obviously in, I think it's in England. I'm not too certain. Either way, it's on the opposite side of the pond, so it's on the opposite side of the moon. When it is going on in prime time is when we are all happily tucked underneath the covers, having some much needed Z's. So when they are wrapping up midway through or almost to the end of their rounds, we'll be live in prime time on the show. So we'll have a little bit of a live watch along as well tomorrow, and then through the rest of the week. And then Friday, MLB season resumes in full fucking force, ladies and gentlemen. 16 games on the slate. Man, going from 4 days of no games, and then I pulled that up yesterday, and I saw that, and I was like,
jamming you right in the ass.
Okay, here we go. Back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Ready to rock and roll. So we'll have all of that going on Friday. Well, obviously, it'll probably be, well, not probably. It'll be back to show as usual. Perfect. Our best bets of the day, the special play of the day, Moneyline Dice Roll, all that good stuff. You know how we do it here at the TTL Pod. Also, Friday, don't forget the second half of the show, kicking off the Rants and Reactions. We will have UFC Fight Night, 26 or 27. I believe it's 27. Either way, we're breaking down the full card, giving you our straight plays, our prop plays, and the main card parlay. So make sure you if nonetheless, come on by for the end of Friday's show so you can get some UFC analysis that you're not going to find anywhere else or very rarely find at all. I know I made a promise to you guys a while back ago. Excuse me, goodness gracious, that I would start diving deep into the UFC and other promotions, stuff like that. I have kept that promise, and I'm going to dive even deeper. The blogs are coming out very soon, so going to have some there are going to be some UFC blogs. There are going to be some just general MMA blogs. There might be even some blogs about Colt's MMA past. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn a little bit about my past in MMA and why I'm so doggone passionate about it.
I thought you were going to say blogs, analyzing your blogs or something like that.
No, sir.
Like, what the fuck?
No, sir. Not at all anywhere where I was going with that. No. But
good stuff.
Quite possibly. We'll see what happens either way. That is another little sneak peek quickly. Yeah, too, you guys might not hear about this if you don't stick around for the second half of the show. The Talking the Line Sports Media website is very, very, very close to production. This week, not having a whole bunch of games and everything going on has really opened up a lot of time for us to have to work on a lot of this back-end stuff, and it has gone a lot quicker than I had originally anticipated. So no promises, but you might be seeing that website a little sooner rather than later. So... and boy, oh boy, do we got plenty of stuff on there for you guys to dive into right off the bat. Trust me, believe you me, it is going to be one central location for the brand that you now have known and come to love as Talking the Line Sports Media. So that's about all I had on that end. Just want to let you guys know kind of what we're what we're thinking betting wise for the rest of the week here. As always, if you are headed out of here, you're just one of the kind degenerate folks that stops by for all those best bets and analysis, and you are hitting the bricks. Have a spectacular rest of your Wednesday unless you have other plans. Thank you once again for stopping by today's show, the Big 80, episode number 80, TTL Pod. And hey, don't stay away too long now. We need your help bankrupting these sports books one play at a time. So mosey on around the corner after this evening for episode number 81, prompt tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, live right here on this screen that you are currently watching on. And we'll be watching some British Open play right alongside live watch along. So it should be a fun special episode. Make sure you come back for tomorrow. But for now, peace and love. Have a great rest of your day. As for the rest of you, sticking around for the second half of today's show, I suggest you go put the kids in the other room. If you're at work and you ain't got the pleasure of working remote, you might want to turn the volume down a little bit, because we're about to get hot. The takes are about to fly, and we are about to get into the juiciest of the juicy banter that we could possibly find on this beautiful Wednesday, July 14th, 2021, in case you had forgotten since the last 10 minutes I told you the date. It is now time for the second half of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in, drop it down into first gear, kick it on back a little bit, and let's talk just a little bit of shit in today's Rants and Reactions. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are live and prime time. It's time for the second half of today's show. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal? How you feeling? How you looking? How you moving? No, you told us a little bit at the top of the show, but refresh our memories. What's going on? How you feeling? All-Star Game last night went pretty well. Anything major outstanding outside of that stick out in your head from the evening since we last saw you?
No, sir. I am. What I laid down is what you get. But I just get too excited for the upcoming slate after we lay down our full slate of picks, and I just want to get to watching it and, seeing if what we lay down comes out to fruition, because it feels pretty damn good when it does. But, even when it doesn't, we still...
we got about 8 hours.
9 hours?
9 hours we got here. So, hey, we'll pass about another half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so of that. So we can all pass the time together here. So why not? Let's dive into it.
Alrighty.
Kick things off. First things first, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to spend most of the first half just all NBA, give you everything there. A lot of people aren't as into betting golf as they are into betting the NBA, but we wanted to be
for
sure.
Some majors, though.
For some majors, that's for sure. But for those of you who do want some of those PGA picks, those British Open major picks, you're in luck, because we got some analysis and a little bit of action for you to lay down. So first things first, let's just chat a little bit here about what we got coming up.
We pulling a few all-nighters here the next few days. No sleep for the next 4 days.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, I'm thinking, I pulled it up yesterday and it just wasn't making sense in my mind. Thursday at 12:35 a.m. Thursday, 12:35 a.m. Like, I just could not process.
Right.
I just couldn't figure it out. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. And then you came here today and you were like, oh yeah, we're going to be dead asleep when it's going on. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then 12:35 a.m. clicked in my head and I was like, oh shit, it's going to be tonight, but tomorrow morning. Holy hell.
It's always a weird swing for me on, especially at least on like the Friday nights and Saturday nights. It's like, okay, do I stay up late as fuck and watch these, or do I sleep early and wake up crazy early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and watch as much action as possible?
Yeah.
I feel like in college I would stay up as late as I could, but then it kind of backfired on the back end. But hey,
that is for sure.
We'll see.
We'll see whatever happens either way. We will definitely be watching it live on prime time. We'll have it on the side screen here on the tube, the boob tube. So we'll make sure to have that. We'll have some live reaction stuff going on. So hopefully there's some good action happening. But hey, let's not waste any time. You guys want some picks? You want some value? You want to know where our head's at, where we're seeing it? Well, hey, I'll kick things off. I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Got a couple outright winners I think you should take a look at. I have, might be a little bit surprising because he is a little bit longer and he's nowhere near the favorite list. Justin Thomas at plus 1,800. Played incredibly well last week and has played really, really well over the course of the past few weeks, honestly. The one thing, he just needs to get that putter working again. If he can get that son of a bitch hot, hey, watch out for JT.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, I believe it was either this event or the event before last year where he just got super, super, super hot. And it was the streak where he was just letting them go on Sundays. I think he's really matured as a player. I think he's been able to get that out of his system. And, hey, if he comes out like he traditionally has been and he can hold that through Sunday, I think that JT's got a serious shot to get this bad boy.
Yeah, I would say so, man. I mean, he's typically, especially if you see him kind of lurking around the top 10 in some other tournaments leading up to a major, a lot of times when that happens, he, similar fashion in the next one. And like you said, I think this could be the one where he goes over the top.
Sure. So there you go, my first outright winner. My second outright winner that is a little bit of a long shot, but not that much, I don't think. So. I am actually going to sprinkle a little bit on Louis Oosthuizen at plus 3,000 for outright winner. Now, he is traditionally sneaky in these big events. He finds himself in playoff battles more than any other player in PGA history. And more often than not, they do fall in his favor. However, the reason why I'm thinking this is he's actually been off for a couple of weeks, had some time to rest up, and he's had this date circled on his calendar. So if he can be classic Louis, if he can do what he typically does, and much like JT, hold that all the way through Sunday, I think he's got a doggone good shot. And I think those are two guys, those are my two outright bets, and I think those are two guys that everybody's really looking past right now, and I think have a serious, serious shot to win this tournament.
Yeah, certainly, Louis. I mean, another reminder, especially for golf, to do your price checking, because I had some that I liked better, or I had better prices on FanDuel than mine are, but yours that you just laid down, you said plus 1,800 for JT. I imagine that's on FanDuel. He's plus 2,000 on DraftKings. However, what'd you say Louis was for you?
3K? 3,000?
Where did he go? He is plus 2,500 on DraftKings. So a little bit better for JT on DraftKings, worse or better on FanDuel for Louis. So
yeah, so just a little bit of something extra for you guys to think about there. But another couple of plays that I wanted to give you guys, just in case you weren't comfortable with the outright. Some people aren't. They don't get the crazy juicy odds. They don't want to get wild. But hey, if you're not, I also love both of these guys to finish within the top 5.
Okay.
If you want a little bit more comfortable bet, you're getting Louis at plus 550 and Justin Thomas at plus 490.
Okay.
So out of those two, I would definitely say JT is more valuable, worth it. But I think Louis sneaks in the back door and gets him a top 5 finish for sure.
Yeah, I love the plus money on some of these top 5 and top 10s. I mean, even, I love your top 5 for JT, but even if you're trying to be more conservative, you can still, at least where I'm seeing, plus 200 for top 10. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that if you love them.
Perfect segue into my final two picks of the British Open. I love Matthew Fitzpatrick to finish top 10. You're getting that at plus 290. Finished top 3 last week. Played extremely, extremely well. Been a guy that has consistently added to his repertoire and got better over the course of season after season. And I think that we see him really show up here finally for a major championship. And at the very bare minimum, get a top 10 finish. No question in my mind. Another guy who I think shows up here, who I think is going a little bit under the radar, who has also played really well when the big lights and bright stage comes on, Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
Top 10 finish for Colin Morikawa is at plus 290 as well. I think those are two under the radar guys, have some serious value to squeak out a top 10 finish here today when it comes, or not today, or just over the weekend. Yeah. So there you go. There's my two top 10 picks. I also have another one that we are both on that I'll let you talk about. But that's kind of where my head's at as far as some of the value that I found for the British Open here.
Alrighty. So nice little segue. I'll lay down the one that we're both on here because I know we both love it. I believe I mentioned it briefly on the pod yesterday, but
we've been talking about it for the last week and a half. Damn.
What was your price check on it? But I'll lay it down. Bryson DeChambeau to miss the cut this weekend at plus 225 where I'm seeing it. Is that the same for you?
I had to scroll like a son of a bitch, but yeah, plus 225.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love those odds. He is.
Yeah, don't worry. He's there. You just got to scroll all the way down.
Right. He is struggling right now. Missed the cut last event 2 weeks ago. got outplayed by my man Aaron Rodgers in the match by an NFL quarterback. Clearly outplayed. I'm not even saying that because I'm a homer for my man Aaron Rodgers.
He won that event.
Outplayed.
He won that event.
In this event, obviously this wasn't where I'm actually blanking on where this event is this weekend, but in the PGA, in the British Open, historically missed the cut in 2019. Finished 51st in 2018 and missed the cut in 2017. And I did a little bit of research. So a couple of those years, he was playing well coming into the tournament. Now you got a guy who has got a falling out with his caddy. He's seemingly in his own head from the media, from Brooks Koepka. It ain't no joke, man. He's in his own head, and it's really holding him back. He's been struggling like crazy. He had a back and forth with the reporter yesterday, asking him why he doesn't yell four, and he got extremely defensive. Like if you actually yell four, it's just like I'm not sure what you're talking about. I yell four, but he clapped back at him very hard. It's like that's a controversial thing. Like he's in his own head, man, and I don't see him faring well at all. These tournaments typically have ridiculous weather, wind, and all the like. And even if he was playing well, I don't think his game is suited for this. And the books giving it plus 225 because he's a household name. Everybody loves him, but he's struggling right now. I would not put any money on him to be successful, and I love to put some money down on him to be terrible on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to look up a few things. It actually is at the Royal St. George.
There you go. Thank you.
So that's where the golf club there. And then I was trying to, while you were talking there too, I appreciate you deep diving into that. I was trying to find what his record is there at the Royal St. George, and I'm not sure that he has.
I don't know if he's played there.
Not.
Yeah, I looked back. It was 2010 or 11 that the British Open was played at this one last time. They have it like 8 or 10 that they rotate through. So right. I don't believe that DeChambeau has played there. I could be wrong about that, but but all of these courses, some of them are a little trickier than others, but for the most part, similar weather conditions, similar style of play, and it just ain't meant for him. So love DeChambeau to miss the cut. Now,
absolutely.
Got my two players that I like in this tournament here. I'll give a third one that I don't know if I'll take quite yet because there was no winners that really jumped out to me. But top 10, I'm going to take Xander Schauffele at plus 190 where I saw it. He has finished top 10 in 2 of the 3 majors this year and top 10 in 6 of the last 8 majors dating back to 2019. So he's just a really solid golfer, man. And I don't know if he's going to get over the hump in this one because he is chasing that elusive major, but it does appear that he rises to the occasion, at least for a top 10 finish in these types of tournaments. And I see no difference in this one, partner. You liking Xander today or this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. He is in my bet slip as we speak, and we'll probably get locked in tonight right alongside everything I laid down for you guys, and then in addition to the Bryson pick too. So yeah, I like Schauffele to have a strong showing here. He has always been consistent, even as a young guy so far in the majors. Lights come on, he shows out. Right. Very similar to Matthew Fitzpatrick and Colin Morikawa. So anything you're thinking there might be worth a sprinkle.
Alrighty, so one I really like, top 5 is going to be Rory McIlroy at plus 450. He's got top 5s in 4 of his last 5 British Open starts, including a win. And he's got a 7th place finish last month at the U.S. Open, and he has been taking the time off preparing for this event ever since. This is his baby. This is where his fans really shine for him, and this is his event, man. It is all Rory to finish top 5. I like a little sprinkle on him to win. However, the last handful of years, he even when he does play really well, whether it doesn't seem like it's a Sunday choke. There's usually just like a weird like Saturday type of choke for a couple holes, and then he figures it back out and gets himself into that top 5, top 10. So in this event specifically, I love him to stay in that top 5. And if he can get over the hump, that'd be great. But, we only need him to get top 5 here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. He is also already in my bet slip too. So just depending on how spectacular of an evening we're about to have, will just depend on how much I sprinkle on each one of these bets. But they're definitely getting sprinkled. You'll best believe you me.
Right. So the last thing I will say, and you, partner, mentioned it, and I kind of agree with you. The guy that I am interested in as the winner seems a little bit too good to be true. Jon Rahm at plus 700. He is by far the favorite. Won the U.S. Open, played well last weekend. So when that guy is playing well, I really like him to continue that momentum. He's another guy that's from Europe, so he is more familiar than a lot of the American field in this tournament. But like I said, it seems a little bit too good to be true, so I'm not going to say that I'm officially taking it, but, I think I will take a little bit of a sprinkle because the guy's just playing damn well right now. He's got that new dad energy that we've seen from athletes over the last few years, where he just elevates his play for whatever reason right after he has a kid, and he seems happy. He seems to be in a good headspace. So, like I said, he didn't get over the hump last weekend in the Scottish Open. He was right in the top 10, though, so conservatively, I might even go top 5, top 10 for him because I do think he's going to continue that momentum and play really well. But I mean, the odds aren't super long, so it doesn't seem, it doesn't not a ton of return if it's even a little sprinkles. So, do like him to have a nice performance. So take that as you will.
Yeah, I did have him in my slip, and then I took him out because, much like you said, I just think it's a little bit too obvious. And I mean, yeah, he's got that dad power. Everybody wants him to pull back-to-back majors, but
yeah,
we'll see.
And he's the only one. He's the only one that's minus 120. He's the only one that's not plus odds as top 10. So I might do that, or might do plus 180 top 5. I don't know, but I do like him to have a nice tournament. Take that as you will.
Absolutely. So that's all we got. That's our British Open best bets, picks, everything in between. Hope that you got some value there. You're riding those with us. I am locking all of them in. Yeah. I don't know exactly in what amount, as I said. Just depends on how good we do tonight, but we'll see what kind of action we're dropping down. Make sure if you're riding those plays, you are not going to have till tomorrow morning to hammer them in. They are going to go away at 12:35 a.m. tonight or tomorrow morning, that being Thursday. Once again, we will have a live watch along going on tomorrow. So
next couple of days.
Next couple of days, yeah. So tune in for that action. Outside of that, not a whole hell of a lot to get into here in today's rants and reactions. We do have, as I have already mentioned, UFC Fight Night coming up on Friday. Or on Saturday. We got the full card breakdown coming up on Friday. I already told you guys about that. A little bit of a reminder, and you guys will be able to have a reminder every single day now, and I won't have to tell you, but a little hint there. But 57 days until the NFL season officially kicks off, ladies and gentlemen. Told you at the top of the show, I made a serious purchase, and I am very, very excited to continue to dive into it. I bought Warren Sharp's Sharp Football Analysis book last night. I suggest you guys do the same too. It's actually very affordable for what you are getting. He actually has a discount code and everything on it too. You get it for $18, and it is 436 pages of the most in-depth analysis, trends, everything, full team breakdown, betting look ahead, fantasy look ahead, everything you have ever wanted about the NFL in 436 pages for the 2021 and recapping the 2020 season. It is the best thing I've ever got my hands on. I got through 12 pages last night, and I couldn't put the book down, but I had to fucking go to bed. I had to overload. I mean, it's an overload in a fucking half, man. I mean, I just showed him this morning. I was like, hey, man, I had to kind of look through just to kind of see what exactly it was. And it blew away what I thought his standards were. I've always liked Warren Sharp. Matter of fact, I've damn near always loved Warren Sharp's work. I mean, he does amazing work. And his story, if you don't know Warren Sharp, I suggest you look it up because how he got to where he's at today is wild. However, I looked at this issue and I said, man, I can't pass this up. Right. I cannot pass this up. So I suggest you guys delve into it. But I showed you just one of the team breakdowns, and I mean, it's 10-15 pages per team breakdown.
It's not a skim.
I mean, it's insane. They have everything from key players lost to heat maps for specific plays, specific style of plays, specific formations. I mean, it's absolutely insanity. I've never seen something compiled so perfectly, and I know it sounds like I'm just sucking his dick right now, but it is so worth it. I mean, this book is absolutely amazing.
I mean, we gush over the NFL, and this is basically like a
it's the holy grail,
advanced guide of breaking down the NFL, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely electrifying. Like I said, I got through 12 pages, and I can't put the book down. I mean, every second I get, I want to pick it back up. So suggest you guys cop that bad boy as well. You said at the top of the show, partner, we had a little bit of news to get into.
I almost forgot.
Good thing you got your old buddy pal over here to keep you on track. What do you got happening?
Free agent cornerback. Cornerback. Now, this title might be sticking to him. Richard Sherman has been arrested for burglary, domestic violence in Seattle, denied bail. How's about that for a headline? Now, hopefully this isn't just some clickbaity, it was a mistake. He was booked at 6:08 local time a.m. in Seattle for burglary, domestic violence, according to public records. Goodness gracious.
Partner, I don't even know if I can say anything. I don't even know where to begin there. Are you fucking serious?
And maybe, so the way I'm reading it, I just came in real quick. Maybe he was fucked up or drunk and thinking he was going to... The person calling said that an adult male family member who did not live at the residence was attempting to force his way into the home.
So it sounds like it was some type of a domestic family dispute. And damn, dude, are you serious? I don't even know how to react to that. That blows my fucking mind. The Sherm out of anybody? That blows my mind, ladies and gentlemen. You are seeing me speechless for the first time in a Rants and Reactions in I don't know how long. Holy smokes. Well, we definitely have some info to dive into there and see what the hell's all going into. We're not going to bring out any information or anything. We don't want to talk our way into something and then have to walk our way out of it. But you heard it here first. Per the worldwide leader, Richard Sherman has been arrested and booked denied bail on charges of burglary,
domestic violence.
And domestic violence. Wowzer kapowzer. Well, also in today's society, that's domestic violence. So who the hell knows? But either way, yikes for Richard Sherman. Wow. We'll have more to talk about on that. I'm probably very certain of it. But moving right along, maybe actually a good segue, talking about defensive backs, something I wanted to mention from the Warren Sharp book.
Okay. A hell of a transition.
Back into something a little bit better. Defensive holding. Called 0.7% of the time in NFL games last season.
Yeah.
However, now that was the smallest clip since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
However, defensive pass interference was called at a 1.2% clip, the highest in the 2000s. Do we continue to see that rise? Do we continue to see some things happen because of that? Well, you're going to have to buy Warren Sharp's book to find out.
I want it.
Because it is... it's electrifying how he breaks that down. Let me tell you, that's enough on that because I can't stop talking about it. I'm so hyped up for the NFL season to come right around the corner because if you needed to know any further of how serious we take handicapping NFL and the NCAA football and college basketball, we prepare for the NFL 2.5 months out, 3 months out. Like we have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, we've been saying we're gonna dive in, and it's about that time.
And getting some blogs in the chamber loaded up, ready to shoot out as soon as we go live on the website. So it won't just be some blank pages there. You'll be able to read some content right off the jump, and then we might do it every day. We might do it random days. We might who the hell knows when you're gonna see it. But you'll be able to subscribe just like when we had our Substack before. You'll be able to subscribe and have our blogs delivered right to your email, whichever one you like. Once we do post it live on the website, so you don't have to go looking through the site or go all the way through. Hey, it just popped up. Click the notification on your phone and it's there. Once again, a common misconception when we did have the Substack, we still have the Substack, we just haven't wrote in a very long time. We never send you spam, nor will we ever send you spam. We are two stooges who do not like spam ourselves. We are not going to send that shit on you. Promise. We will not do that. We had a lot of people who said, yeah, I would love to subscribe. I would have that, but I just don't want all the spam and I don't need something else coming into my email. I'm like, we don't spam you, dude. It's one email every single morning at 8 a.m. Like, what are you talking about? And then people would sign up. So we will never spam you. Once all of that stuff comes out, once you see some stuff, hey, that is our promise to you. You're not going to get spammed here at the TTL Pod. So there you go. There you have it on that end, the NFL side of things. College basketball, quick reminder, 118 days around, only a few tears of the calendar away, ladies and gentlemen. Rip a few more pages off, and before you know it, we are going to be headed into the conference tournaments, then into the full season. Then, oh my gosh, it's going to be March 2022, and we may be reporting live from Indianapolis come March 2022.
Is that where it is? Or
I would imagine.
They switch it around. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea either. Either way, if it's anywhere in vicinity, once again,
Sure.
the TTL crew is going to be there one way or another, you best believe.
2020, whatever, Arlington Park Final Four.
Wow. Could you imagine?
I can imagine, actually, because if that comes, that's almost a lock that they're going to put a Final Four there.
That would be electrifying. That would be so damn cool. Holy cow, I didn't even think about that. Either way, college basketball too. We will, I don't even want to say most likely, probably 150% guaranteed. We're going to have an NFL season look-ahead special edition, and then we'll also have a college basketball season look-ahead special edition, and then our blogs are going to be so key for a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff that we have to talk about that we don't have the time in the pod, and that we're trying to make other content for, and other shows and stuff, so we can bring more of this analysis and stuff that in the short hour, 2 hours that we get with you guys that we just can't get out.
Right.
So we have so much more to dive into and give you access to some of the knowledge that we have and have been able to attain since taking full-time careers in the industry and making the connections that we've been afforded the opportunity and the blessing to be able to. So there you go. There you have it. Talked about the MLB All-Star Game up at the top of the show. Vladdy G, MVP. Didn't say all too much about him. You know, one thing I didn't know? I didn't know that he didn't really speak English that well.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
And same with Fernando. Like, I thought Fernando's English was a little...
I kind of thought it was flipped, if I'm being totally honest.
Really?
Like, as far as
not that I have a problem. Like, I don't give a damn whatsoever.
We're not being Stephen A. over here. It's not like that.
You know, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
It's not like that. We just didn't know.
Been a rough month for the worldwide leader, if you will. Goodness fucking gracious. But, yeah, you know, it
seems like they're getting better because, I mean, when they're getting told the question, they start to, like, nod and this and that. I think it's really just, like... Because some guys are just embarrassed to have broken English. And I understand it.
And Fernando's getting better, but yeah.
Well, he's gotten a lot better.
He's gotten a lot better. He really, really was. But yeah, I honestly, I had even anticipated his English to be more, like, clear and concise.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like I was struggling. He didn't need to throw closed captions on the screen or anything. But what I thought... really cool moment that didn't get shown, or maybe it got shown and I just missed it live. But they had Vlad and Pedro Martinez on MLB Network afterwards, and then whoever the third guy is with them, Pedro Martinez and Vlad were talking Dominican or Cuban or whatever the native language is, and they were going back and forth and laughing. And I mean, it was such an electric, just that moment to have Vladdy being the little kid at the All-Star Game, and now he's the MVP of the All-Star Game in 2021 at 22 years old. So cool. I mean, it's so doggone cool. And to see El Nino and Vladdy be in the MLB All-Star Game together, and they've basically had the exact same path. They grew up at the All-Star Games with their dads. Their name precedes them. They don't need to announce themselves when they enter a room. Right. Everybody knows who they are.
Something tells me Fernando's going to have a better showing the next couple All-Star Games, too.
I would imagine. He was a little upset and got caught on a few hot mics, just barely missing some home runs. He was very close to having a couple bombs that were just the same as Vladdy's. But Vladdy had the key, man. He waited back. He let the hips do the work, kept the hands in tight, right elbow to the shoulder, to the chest, and then let those hands fly.
Yeah. Speaking of mic'd up, there was some good, awesome moments, and then there were some goofy moments. Freddie Freeman was awesome with Aaron Judge. He was 2-0, 3-0. He's like, oh, I'm about to look so small next to him. And then he's like, oh, just a couple of guys with some perfect teeth. Nothing to see here. Well, the one that made me laugh was, I think it was the first guy that was mic'd up, first or second inning, and they were asking Xander Bogaerts, like, hey, what are you seeing here? And he's got to like, yo, dude, like, fastball, like whisper it, like he doesn't want to tip off like to the catcher what he's expecting.
Exactly. Like
oh, dude, you're busting. You're
that's
busting
just
his style here.
That's just classic Joe Buck, if I do say so
what are you
myself.
seeing here, pal?
That is
fastball, dude. Chill.
Yeah, relax. I'm trying to hit this one out.
And then it wasn't fastball, and he didn't swing. So it's like, all right, well, how hard was he expecting it? Did you asking him screw that up? But then, Liam Hendricks at the end of the game on the hot mic, they get the catcher and him talking together, like, oh yeah, I haven't heard anything all inning long. Like, don't worry about it.
You're all good. You're all good, man. No problem.
I think I said it at the top, but not the guy. He's very animated, so not the guy to be miking up in a PG rated game. Yeah,
Liam Hendricks was definitely not the guy that you wanted to have mic'd up there at the bottom of the ninth. Let me tell you that. That's about it. Nothing really else crazy noteworthy from the All-Star Game. No fans falling out of the stands. Nobody streaking. Nothing crazy really happened. But did cover it all night long from the Talking the Line social media page, the Twitter page. So make sure you follow us there. We always do that, and you best believe we're going to have plenty of action going on with Game 4 rolling out tonight. Outside of that, we obviously dove deep into the NBA for you guys here today. What we got on tap, our best bets, props, totals, spreads, everything in between. Nothing really else to talk about there. There hasn't been any news. We told you about Willie Green, the rumblings there, potentially going to the New Orleans Pelicans. We'll see what happens there. The NO, the big NOLA. Who knows, man? That Pelicans franchise needs some saving there at the old HC position, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, not only that, I know there was a little bit more buzz around Ben Simmons, sounding like he might, the rumors are swirling around him if he's going to be on the move. But as we mentioned, we don't need to dive into it right now, but I don't know who's going to be paying top dollar for him right now. So
no, I don't either. And I haven't seen him in the gym all too often here in the postseason. Did you see what they did to him at the ESPYs?
Yes. I'm drawing a blank, but yes.
They absolutely destroyed him.
Just laying bricks right now. There's a montage of him breaking free throws.
So it was like, we want to take a moment to recognize somebody for his humanitarian efforts.
Yes.
Ben Simmons has decided to start building homes for poor orphans in, I don't even remember where he said.
A little too soon.
And he was like, out of purely only his playoff bricks. And it did like a quick montage of like 5 of his bricks, and then as it's coming back, cut scene, there's 2 little kids walking out onto the stage, and they're like, what would you like to say to who the heck are
Ben Simmons?
Who would you like to say to Mr. Simmons? I'm trying to think of all that happened. What would you like to say to Mr. Simmons? And they're like, thank you so much for our new homes. And then they skip off of the stage.
Rough, man.
I mean, they absolutely obliterated him.
I feel like it's a little too soon, if I'm being honest.
We ain't even out of the playoffs yet, dude. They're already cooking this, man.
If he was better, they might still be playing, too.
Yeah, they very well might be. I mean, they cooked that man, though. That was absolutely rough. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else? Quick few reminders before we wrap up the Rants and Reactions here. Be sure to hit the link tree in this episode's description. That's where you can find all of the TTL crew's additional content and social media platforms. Soon to be added, the Talking the Line Sports Media website. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very soon to be completed, and it will have everything you need to stay up to date with the TTL crew and everything related to sports gambling and the sports industry in between. That is a promise. Be out very soon. We'll let you know for sure the drop date when you'll be able to punch it in whatever your favorite web browser is, and it'll pull right up there for your enjoyment. Not live yet, so you can search for it all day. You ain't gonna find it anyway. Other than that, make sure you follow us on the Action Network app so you can get all of our best bets of the day and everything in between. If we lock anything in outside of what we talked about for our best bets of the day on the daily podcast, you can follow me at cash_with_Colt. You can follow Riley at RMags in all caps. And you can follow the best bets of the day coming from each and every single pod at Talking the Line. If you don't have time to stop by a show or click over to the best bets of the day segment, we put them all there for you, so you don't have to worry if you ain't able to make it by for a show. Other than that, for real now, seems like everything has been crossed off the list. So, partner, anything burning on the brain, melting on the soul, festering on the heart that you have just been dying to get out to the kind folks that took the time out of their day to come and kick it with us on this beautiful Wednesday, July 14th, 2021, episode number 80 of the TTL Pod.
Quick little update. We've got 2K22 video game cover has been released.
Really?
Any guesses as to the main? There's 3 covers. Another situation where they got 3 pretty sick covers. But who's the main cover if you had to take a guess? Nobody that's playing as we speak.
I mean, the obvious, LeBron.
Nope.
Anthony Davis.
Nope. He was in the playoffs.
He was in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler.
No. Jimmy Butler.
I don't know.
You're missing a megastar, mega popularity, young guy.
Kevin Durant.
Nope.
Kyrie Irving.
Nope. One more guess.
James Harden.
Nope. Luka.
Oh.
Luka.
Damn, I forgot the Mavs were in the playoffs. They got bounced a while back ago, huh?
They
Holy
did. But
shit.
yeah, he's about due
He's
for it.
been playing in Slovenia for the last month
That's
and
fair.
a half.
Trey Young would have been a solid guess
Holy
too.
shit, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
But yeah, Luka getting the main cover. NBA 75th anniversary cover. They've got 3 guys. KD. So fair. You got one of them there on one of those covers. But KD, Dirk, and Kareem getting the NBA 75th anniversary edition.
Okay.
And Candace Parker getting what appears, it said GameStop exclusive. So interesting there. But yeah, Candace Parker, I believe it was the first WNBA player on any version of a cover. I could be wrong about that. But Candace Parker rounding out the 3. But yeah, the covers were pretty cool designs. So, I've been scooping those up every single year. So I don't know why this one would be any different. But yeah, I'll go out on a limb and say Trey Young on 2K23. How about that? What do you got there?
My man Warren Sharp.
Oh, let's go.
So was just hitting him up like crazy, telling you guys all about
Thanks, Captain.
Thanks, Captain. Yeah, it's funny. I think I might have to change that because
People don't get it.
people don't get it at all. I don't
People don't get it at all.
I don't understand why. If you guys don't get it, and so it's Cap and Colton, as in handicapping Colton, and I didn't want to put handicap and Colton, so just
Or Handy Captain Colton.
happy what? So I just did Cap and Colton, but Cap'n is the abbreviation for captain, so it's become quite the issue across the Twitter sphere.
I think you should keep it. I think especially for moments like those, it's just even funnier.
Yeah, it is even funnier because like we know what it's about, the close fans know what it's about, but
Thanks, Captain.
thanks, Captain. No problem. No problem
Yeah, it's lame
whatsoever.
if you're like, actually, Warren, it's Captain.
Actually, it's handicapping, like capping. Maybe I should put together a disclaimer, have like a PDF file every time somebody does that to drop it down. Capping relates to handicapping, as in handicapping, as in handy space in.
Not to be confused as a ship captain.
Not to be confused as I am the captain now. Not to
Look at me. I am the captain now. I am the handicapping now.
I am the handicapping now. All right,
Anyways.
we're getting slap happy. It's time to get this show wrapped up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for sticking around. Let me give a little bit back to you here now and give you a little extra inspiration to get you through this beautiful Wednesday. And anytime you hit a little bit of a pothole today, you got a little bit something to come back to. And hopefully that you can come back to this for the rest of your life. I hope this makes an impact on you. So today, my motivation minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and told you this was the first time ever that I was bringing this to the public. This is a speech, if you will, if I was a motivational speaker on stage, which someday I hope to be able to stand and talk in front of groups of people like that and give them some words of inspiration and motivation and some keys that I've found to help me survive this thing called life. Today's short message is on fear. But maybe not how you would be thinking about fear. See, fear in this instance, in the way that I speak of it, is in an acronym. We're not talking about being afraid to do something as you would typically think. You can find fear an awful lot in this life, and you can make just about any excuse you want as to why you shouldn't do something, a specific situation, a specific act, whatever that fact might be or that circumstance. You can find an excuse, and at the end of the day, if you boil it down to the core of that excuse, it's because you're afraid of one thing or another. But I'm here to tell you today that you can look at fear in an entirely different lens. And the acronym that I wanted to give you today for fear is face everything and rise. That is what fear means to me. Now, as you go through this life and as you make those decisions to pursue a passion or pursue a vision or chase after your dreams or tackle a hard circumstance that prior you would have been afraid to do so, but you decide to step out on a limb and do that, it's going to be a process. It's not going to be a slow grind or a fast grind, rather, getting to that end result. It is going to be extremely excruciating sometimes. You're going to hit potholes. You're going to hit obstacles. There's going to be 10-foot high walls in your path that you're going to have to find out a way to get over without having any ladder, rope, or anything in between. But what you got to remember is that when you're chasing after every single one of those goals, it is about the process and not the product. Your mindset has to be process over product. Everything that you do every single day is about the process and about what it is doing to you and what tool it is adding to your tool bag, not what it is doing to get you to that final goal. Because if you focus on the process and worry about the process and worry about what you are doing and how you are growing every single day, you will find that that product lands in your lap faster than you could have ever imagined, and faster than if you would have only focused on that and not growing as a human being over the process. Now, you'll find also when you stick into the process and you fall in love with the process and you stop worrying about the product, you're going to find that hard work becomes easy. You're going to find that the harder you work at something, the harder it is to surrender. That is the next mindset. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. You give all your time, your energy, your effort into something that you are chasing. It is so hard to give it up after you've given so much of yourself. It's also easy when you're 99% of the way there and you don't know it yet to just turn around and stop. But every single time you feel like quitting, giving up, stopping, turning around, letting your dreams slip away, remember all the hard work that you've put in to get to this point. And the harder that you work, the harder it is for you to surrender. Continue to put in that hard work. Do not give up now, because this is the time that it is right around the corner. Continue to work hard. Continue to never surrender at every single thing that you are facing. As you face these things, I promise you, they are going to be challenging. They're going to challenge you up and down, left, right, and center, and you're going to have to deal with it, and you're going to have to grow. That's the key. Grow. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. If you are in comfort, if you are in the everyday monotony, and you don't have any outside forces to keep the body guessing from time to time, you are never going to change. You are never going to become that version of yourself that you want to be to reach those goals. You have to face challenges, because at the end of the day, if something is in your way, an obstacle, a situation, or even a dream you're pursuing, if it does not challenge you, it will not change you as a person and bring you to that next level that you need to be in order to attain success. And you know my definition of success: center, fulfilled, and happy, ladies and gentlemen. So what does that mean? What does that all put together? You have those challenges, and you know they're going to be there, and you know they're going to change you. And one thing you have to remember with those challenges is that you always have to keep them temporary. And that vision and that goal that you're chasing after, you got to keep it permanent. You got to keep it always, 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 whether it be at the very back of your mind. That vision is permanent. Your challenges will come at you from every direction, in every different shape and size, every single day. You have to let them work. You have to keep them temporary in your life. Allow them to make you a better version of yourself. And when it comes to the moments, once again, when you want to quit and you want to give up and you have nothing left to give and you are afraid of what is right around the next corner, you have the ability to keep those challenges right here and keep that vision in the front of your mind. Continue to go back to that vision. Don't let it leave you. and let those challenges roll by you one by one. As I always say, challenges are like flaming arrows. They're flying at you from across the battlefield. You can either let them pierce right through you, or you can start grabbing them one by one out of the air and breaking them right over your knee. Now, one final thing I want to let you guys know in all of this, that outside of all these challenges, outside of all this stuff, you're going to hear the noise. Once you finally have the ability to be able to look these challenges in the face, to go right through them, to let them teach you and grow, once you start to fall in love with the process and stop worrying about the product, once you start to let those visions or those challenges just slide right on by and you keep that vision right in the forefront no matter what comes your way, there's still going to be noise. There's still going to be people that don't believe in you. There's still going to be people that think you don't measure up when you know how much work you put into some specific goal or passion. They're still going to think that you don't put in enough work. They're still going to think that you aren't worthwhile. But what you have to remember is that their opinion will never become your reality. Don't be afraid to let people have their opinion of you, because everybody's got opinions and we all know what they're about. Let them happen and choose to let them roll off your shoulders as well, because their opinion will never become your reality if you choose to not allow it. So the next time you become afraid, ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with this here today. Remember to face everything and rise. Focus on your process and don't worry about the product. When you do, you'll realize that the harder you work at something, the harder it is to surrender. And as you start to work at these things, you're going to face challenges, but remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And as you continue to face those challenges, remember to keep them temporary and your vision permanent. And as the noise continues to come in once you are able to finally achieve all these things, remember that their opinion will never become your reality. So today, I ask you to face everything and rise. That does it for my motivation minutes for today.
Good stuff, my man. As always, you kind of nailed it at the top. There are many different ways that fear can rise in the person, you just got to conquer it. And like you said, and we've said it many times, and it's going to keep getting said, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
150%.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, and everybody would be on top of the world. But, you got to go through some shit, man.
Absolutely. So, that's always kind of been in my head. The main things, obviously, they're the acronym of fear, the process over product. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Keep your challenges temporary and your vision permanent, and their opinion will never become my reality. If you can remember those 5 things plus fear, remember what fear is, you'll start to have some serious success in your life. You'll find that happiness, you'll find that fulfillment, and you'll find that centeredness. Hope you guys enjoy that. That's been something I've wanted to bring out for quite some time. If you were kind enough to listen to it or got blessed with a little bit of that action today, you were the first person to ever hear that live and in the public. And hopefully someday when I'm talking to a mass of people with that same message, you'll be in that crowd and you'll get to say, hey, I remember when I saw that first on YouTube. So that really does it for my motivation minutes of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And by the looks of things here, that does it for episode number 80.
Sure does.
How about that? One more time, just so you don't have to check your calendar. Beautiful July 14th, 2021. That is a wrap on today's episode, the 80th, official 80. We are, getting some plans in place for the big 100, for the big triple-digit edition. Still got a little while away. We still got some time now, 19 more episodes to get through before we do so. But, hey, y'all just relax. We got it coming right around the corner, so get prepared for a little something coming for the 100th episode, maybe a little special edition. Who knows what we'll be into come that time. Seems like it's going to be dead in the middle of nothing.
It might be a perfect time for an NFL preview special edition, my friend.
Well, we might just have something going on for episode number 100, but who knows? We're on episode 80 now. So as always, anything else I forgot to mention? Check off the box. Anything we need to deliver?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers far and wide, from myself and Mags, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Wednesday, unless you have other plans. As always, take care. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you face that fear. And don't stay away too long. We need your help bankrupting these books one play at a time. So meander on around the corner for episode number 81. And as always, let's cash some tickets.